All right, it is day 140. Um, I feel like my mic sounds a little muddy. Yeah, I'm gonna just do a quick check-in because I had a very long day today. I do got some energy in me. I can't lie, but um, I think this week I will be getting my life together in regards to Okay, now it's super low. This week I'm gonna get my life together in regards to I don't know, just I really want to get my office together. It's very important to me. Today was like Flower Day in Detroit at our like big farmers market called Easter Market. So I spent all day like out in the sun after church, pretty much just getting as many flowers as I could. I pretty much used like some of my birthday money. Well, not some of it. I got a little bit of birthday money yesterday, and I was like, I've been wanting some plants for so long. I keep like complaining about it. I was like, I want some ivies. I got like some fake plants and stuff like that I was going to use for decor, which I'll probably still use. But I've been thinking about plants a lot lately. I've been wanting some indoor plants and some outdoor plants. And I'm just kind of ready to settle into my space. Why do I feel like I'm like echoing? I don't like that sound. But yeah, I just wanted to like settle into my space. Start to kind of like make it a little bit more homey and get a little bit more comfortable. And one of the biggest things I just been thinking about is how much I want plants. So a couple things for my birthday, I ended up getting one of the gifts that I wanted was like this little it's like a little um propagation kit that you can hang on your wall. So it's basically like a bunch of little test tubes, like glass tubes, essentially, that you can use to propagate indoor plants. Because usually with the indoor plants, and I'm not an expert, but usually with the indoor plants, like I like maybe like some ivy plants, some like house plants, basically, you could take like cuttings from those, and then you can actually propagate those in water, which is something I've done before in the past. Mostly, I usually have ivy plants around, and I usually do that with my ivy, but I don't have any plants right now. So, yeah, I got the little propagation kit that I wanted for um, my birthday, and then with the birthday money that I got, I was like, I found out today was Flower Day. My mom's been talking about Flower Day. Like she kept asking me over and over again, "Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go?" And I was debating on it, but I completely forgot that it was coming up because it's just been so busy the last couple of weeks. And then today I was like, I really want to go to Eastern Market. Usually Eastern Market is like you go on like a Saturday. So it's like I really want to go to Eastern Market, but so I just so happened today to be sitting here thinking like, should I go to Eastern Market today? And then I was even looking it up on my phone when I was taking the train down to go to church. And then a lady saw me with my roller skates and she was asking like where I was going to roller skate, and then she was asking me basically if I was going to go over to Eastern Market. And I'm like, and then she was like, yeah, today is Flower Day. And I was like, oh, Flower Day. I hadn't thought about it. And then I just so happened to be searching on Eastern Market and I saw that it was Flower Day, and then she brought it up too. So then long story short, yeah, we after we got out of church, and then we were gonna stay downtown, but because my other friend didn't actually make it into church, she wasn't even downtown, so I ended up coming back to Midtown. And then we just walked over to Eastern Market, and that was fun. We spent all day in Eastern Market. I literally have a tan. I have a freaking crazy tan. That's crazy. I have a really bad tan from being outside in the sun all day. But I got like all these plants that I wanted. So I got some like herbs, vegetables, tomatoes. I didn't really get fruit besides tomatoes. Um, I got some herbs and some veggies and some flowers, of course. And then I got some freaking roses. I got like these roses called like knockout roses or something like that. They're so beautiful. I got one plant of knockout roses. I got yeah, I got like tomatoes. I got a big like tomato plant, two big tomato plants, and then I got some smaller tomato plants. I really like tomatoes a lot, so I wanted to do some grape tomatoes, so I got those. So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff like that, and then I got some knockout roses. Um, I got some begonias, I think, a begonia plant, which is so cute. And then what else did I get? I got a Godzilla plant, but begonia, Godzilla. I have a succulent that was gifted to me from my friend who was also going around buying all these plants for me today. We just decided that we were about to just start gardening this summer. But both of us, even though I could do some planting beds in the backyard here, I would prefer to have my planting or my planters um, on my deck, basically where it's like in close proximity to me because I also, wanted to spruce up my little outside space. So, but she does not have like a backyard or anything like that. So basically, all of our stuff is like going to be grown on like a patio or like basically on a deck, um on a deck or a balcony essentially. um but yeah, so it was exciting and we just pretty much spent all day doing that. um so Oh, and I did finally get some ivy. Ivy is like very special to me because that is the plant of my sorority as well. And it's very symbolic. And a lot of the traits of the ivy plant is very symbolic. So I have certain like connections with ivy and for those reasons as well. So I really wanted some ivy, and I didn't find ivy when I was going to the flower day. So we ended up having to go to Home Depot after because now we have all like most of our plants were already in some type of planter that they can at least stay in for the short term. But a bunch of the like herbs and stuff like that, they're in like those little small planter boxes, so they can't stay like that. So we had to go to like Home Depot in order to just make sure we had some bigger planters for them. Um and I did get one ivy plant from Home Depot. And because I got my little propagation kit, I wasn't so I wasn't so like gung ho on having to buy multiple house plants because um I want a lot of ivy. Like I want a whole bunch of ivy. And it's gonna take a while for it to grow. It'll be good to watch it grow though, and the other plants as well. But like I said, because I got my propagation kit, I'm actually planning on probably tomorrow because I have to go through. We ran out of daylight time today, so all my stuff is just basically sitting on the porch except like the house plants. But tomorrow I'm going to go through and fill up my propagation. I'm gonna fill up my propagation tubes with as many clippings as I can. I think I have 3 plants that I can work on. I'm gonna be like looking into it tonight before I go to bed, but I have ivy. I don't know much about begonias. I didn't even know if it was a begonia or a petunia because those names are so familiar to me. But I'm pretty sure it's a begonia. Because I was looking at like what those look like. But anyway, so I have begonia, English ivy, and the Godzilla. So I think I should be able to propagate the begonia and the Godzilla, but I don't know. I just have to look and see. If not, I will. My entire propagation kit will be all ivy. And I think, like I'm going to actually hang that on the wall in the back. I'm debating. But yeah, I think I'm going to hang it in the wall on the wall in the back. And that way I'm going to put as many clipping. My ivy plant is so big. It's very long and it has a lot of stems that I could start from without like killing my plant. So, but if not, if I can propagate the other two plants in water, then I'm going to probably have like, I think it's like 3 rows of tubes that I have. So I'm gonna have 1 row of ivy, 1 row of begonia, 1 row of the Godzilla. So I don't know. I could be completely making that up. Worst case scenario, I know how to work with ivy. I know that I'll just have all ivy back there. And that'll be nice. I mean, I'm ready to this week I think I just want to focus more on not more, but I want to focus a lot on my surroundings as well. Especially since I've had like a little housewarming and everything, like I want to get comfortable. So that's something that I just been thinking about. So yeah, I'm going to try to make my workspace more appealing because sometimes I don't want to sit in here. I just want to go outside, even outside though, I want to make that space nice as well. So I'm excited. Did I overdo it? Maybe, maybe. But you know what? That's what I'm known for. I'm good at overdoing it and it working out pretty well. So I was looking cuz I have like probably 15 plants that are like but some of them are vegetables, some of them are herbs, and then some of them are flowers, like probably 3 or 4 of them are flowers. And yeah, so I have to start to think about how much space they're going to need and then how I really truly want to plant them. But that's part of the fun. So I got the bare necessities of all the elements I need, and that'll just be something that I'm working on. Um, it's just something to do outside of just like doing tech stuff. It's getting really, really, really busy, like really busy, and I need to keep a balance between like how much I'm doing technically and how much I'm doing just having downtime, having like times for my hobbies, having times for um, basically other elements of life. And yeah, I'm excited. So I was just like the little begonia is so freaking cute. So my house plants are probably mostly going to come into here. I have this like glass shelf that I bought last year before I even moved and I've never put it up. So I think I'm putting it in that corner back there. And that's where I'm going to put like my house plants. I'll probably put those over there for now. And just kind of see where it goes. I don't even remember what this shelf is supposed to look like. And hopefully it's not broken by now. It's still in the box and everything. So I'm gonna like that's basically the kind of stuff I'm thinking about. So I do have plenty of work to do this week for projects. Even though tonight I'm not gonna work on the stuff that I planned on working on because I didn't expect to get home this late. But I'm just gonna be working on that like bright and early in the morning, and go from there. So this week, trying to think if there's anything major this week, but this week is definitely all about AI. I have two main AI projects. I have my backdrop build project, and then I also have my client project basically. So there are those two things. I have to get my site up and running, but I know I can do that on DigitalOcean, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But I'm gonna be working on setting that up tomorrow, and then from there, the sky's the limit. I don't know. So I just feel like it was a good weekend overall. Miss Site Nerd, I haven't talked to you in a minute. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a good week. How you doing? I will go get my little plants and show them. Actually, Oh, okay, Miss Sider, you could see stuff because you be seeing my stories on Instagram. All my plants are in the story. Um, and but the little begonia is so freaking cute. It's been crazy. We had a small fire in the basement. Oh my goodness. I hope everything's okay. I had one house fire before and that was like a very scary experience. It happened when I was pregnant. So I really hope that you are okay. And hopefully, I know it may have been some damage. Hopefully it was minimal damage. Yeah, that's crazy. One time some grease caught on fire actually. Some grease caught on fire and the way my apartment was set up, it was like I was inside. We were in the bedroom with the door closed. And right when you open the door, you would be facing the kitchen, facing the stove. So by the time we opened the door, it was basically like the stove was already on fire. The whole pan was on fire, and the smoke had like already started to take over the apartment. But we didn't, we were in another room with the door closed, so we didn't even realize. And it was crazy. It's crazy. It's scary, yeah, because at that time all I could think about is when you're in school, like back in the day, or they might even still talk about that now because I know you were teaching where when they start like trying to teach you like what to do if you're in the fire and everything and like how you supposed to see if the doors are hot and all that. That's just all I was thinking about. But yeah, so luckily I'm glad that I'm glad it's better now. Mother's Day was interesting. Mother's Day was good, but Mother's Day was interesting because Mother's Day at our Mother's Day service, we had dedication. They don't do it that often. I think they maybe do it once a year at my church, but they had dedication service. So I did, dedication with Justice. And I was already running late for church. Our service, well, the second service starts at 11, and I got out of church or I was supposed to be there at 10:15. So everybody who was doing dedication service was supposed to be there at 10:15 because I think there was like 30 kids being even at my service. I think it was 30 kids that got dedicated, right? So we were supposed to be there at 10:15 so they can tell us like the whole run of show basically and get us prepared. I was already running late because it was like 10:30 when I was leaving my house. And then on top of that, maybe it was 10:15 when I was leaving, but still. So I wasn't even gonna get to church until 10:30. And then the messed up part was I got in the car. As soon as I got in the car and I sat my bag on my lap, I had just sat Justice cup of milk inside the bag, and he done chewed up all the tops on these he chews through those tops. So I'm thinking the top is good. No, this thing is like leaking in my bag, right? So I set the bag on my lap, and of course I was trying to be cute, right? So I was wearing this pink dress. Now I had thought like, oh, I'll just throw on this black dress, but like I usually wear like black dresses or whatever all the time, like just like a little like summer dress or whatever. So I was like, okay, no, I'm gonna wear this pink dress and trying to be fancy. And of course, that's the day that I get milk all in my lap. Like my whole lap was just wet. And if it would have been black, it wouldn't have been a big deal because nobody would have been able to tell that my lap was wet or like my dress was wet. But by me having that pink on, it was just like a whole big wet spot all across the front of my dress. And you know what I had to do? Take a deep breath and pull off and go to church like that. And then I'm like, of course, the day that they are going to walk us on stage like one by one, it was like a whole thing. So it was like every family coming up and standing in front of the church and taking a picture and all that. So that was mentally a little bit taxing, but I was proud of myself because I was like, whatever. I'm still going to church. The devil is a liar, and you really trying to frustrate me right now, so I can't give in to that. And then I'm gonna show you the picture. So Justice is really tall. He's only 2. He'll be 2 next month. But he's really tall apparently because even though I had on like some 3-inch, like I have some like Timberland heels on, like the chunky ones. I think they're like 3 inches. They have to be like 3.5 inches, right? And he I checked to see if he was gonna be able to stand in front of me when we went on stage, and he was tall enough, even with me wearing heels, he was tall enough to, like, cover my lap standing in front of me. So, yeah, I don't know, it all's well that ends well. This is how look how tall he is. That's my pastor and his wife. But look how tall he is. And that was with me having the boots on. You could see those boots with the heel on them. So, yeah, I was kind of proud of myself in that moment because I was just like, not, you, Miss Eisner, like it just be some stuff that just be going on, and you like, why is this happening? Oh, I know why this is happening. This is just really trying to get me off track. So that was funny. It ended up working out. Then we just came home and chilled because Mother's Day was the day after conference for us. So after I did all that, and I'm like, I did my due diligence. Like, I made sure that we still did dedication service. Um, if I wasn't doing dedication, I would have just went in the house and changed real quick because I wasn't gonna not go to church. But yeah. So after that, I'm pretty sure after that I just came home and chilled. I had a sinus infection on Monday and Tuesday. Well, basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had a sinus infection. So I'm like, y'all kind of I was on stream briefly, but like this whole side of my face was completely swollen. And I was in a lot of pain. It wasn't as bad as when it happened in the fall. It wasn't as bad. And then I was kind of trying to wait it out to see like, is it gonna get worse? I really didn't feel like trying to go to urgent care and all that. I'm like, let me see if it gets worse. I was monitoring it, and then the pain started to let up. Um, and I was like keeping up with how my cheek was looking. My cheek started to go down. So I was so happy. I'm like, please, because but I will go to urgent care, and especially for the pain medicine, and if I would have needed antibiotics, could have been a tipping point for a breakdown. Literally, basically, if you ask me like how has this month been going, the whole past 2 weeks has been a series of attempts at my sanity, a series of attempts to get me to lose my mind. And I feel like I'm handling it so well that I'm just like, it's only by the glory and the grace of God. I have to say that because it's not really me. Like I'm not special. I be struggling and I be wanting to go off all the time. But I just don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that state of mind anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's almost one of those things where it's like, since I'm not responding to certain elements like how I used to, it's kind of ramping up, but that's okay. Um because yeah, I'm like, it's like it was just like back to back stuff, just, and I'm just like, okay. And even with my birthday, I've just been trying to chill, not get too stressed out, not um overdo it. Like I wasn't able to do things that I necessarily would like. It wasn't as extravagant as I would have liked it to be, probably. But at the same time, I really was trying to focus on like what really matters. Cause like one thing about my birthday, I'm kind of getting off tangent, but like one thing about my birthday on a personal note is that I don't always have good birthdays. I don't have like a history of having good birthdays. I have a history of having like low turnout or really crappy weather. I always have crappy weather for my birthday because spring does not exist in Detroit. We get winter for like 6 months, and then it goes straight to summer, and we probably get summer, and then we get fall for everything else, and it's barely a spring. So usually it's like April showers brings May flowers, and that's not the case most of the time for us. And so I'm used to having like these really crappy birthdays where it's like it's super chilly and nasty and rainy and wet. So you want to dress up and get cute, but like you're gonna be walking through mud, that kind of stuff. So this year I'm just like kind of in that mind frame of like I don't want external circumstances to affect like how I enjoyed this milestone. And because I want to because I'm trying to fight the power and just enjoy my life. Yeah, it's just been some foolishness going on. But it's all good. Like it's literally like all's well that ends well. Like I'm not about to sit here and be stressed about it. And yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been good. I really wanted to sit here and like, stream today and work on some projects and stuff like that. But yeah. I just feel like one of the things not one of the things that has been helping me out tremendously is that I go to sleep at night. Like I promise you, and y'all can attest to this because I've been talking about like I was actually talking about this. Um and I don't know how long I've been doing it now, maybe like 2 months. I've been so consistent with making sure I get 7 or more hours of sleep at night, and that's one of the biggest things. I'm like I'm glad that lately I'm starting to just go with my intuition a bit more, because there was a point in time where I just had a hard time with that, and with second guessing myself and stuff like that. And now that I'm kind of getting back more into feeling comfortable, when it's like, oh, I got this little inkling to like yesterday, here's a random one. Yesterday for me having a housewarming, I was literally going to wear like this outfit, and I have like the mechanic jumpsuit, like the long sleeve um pants, like all over, like jumpsuit type of thing, it that I can wear over this. So I was going to wear those yesterday. And people started showing up before I was expecting them to. So at 2 o'clock when I was supposed to start, I really was still in like my throw on clothes that I had wore throughout the morning. Just like a top, and like I had some shorts, and then I had pulled my jogging pants over my shorts. And then it got hot because it was like 85 degrees. And then people just kind of started showing up. And then so I was like just chilling. And then when one of my friends showed up, and she just was wearing like tank top and like some biker shorts. And I was like, okay, see, it's not just me, right? So part of me was like, you should get really dressed up because that's what you was planning to do, and that's like the thing you should do. But the other part of me was just like, no, I think it's good to just kind of stay like this. And then Justice ended up throwing up all over me yesterday, like literally. That was another thing. Yeah, he was like trying to eat this hot dog, then he shoved it in his mouth. Then I was trying to help him because he started kind of gagging, and I'm like, why are you doing that to yourself? We could just take it out and you could take a bite. Then he wanted to fight me over the hot dog, and then he ended up literally like covering me in throw up. That's the first time that my toddler threw up on me. Baby throw up, and like grown, like table food throw up ain't the same. But yeah, so he ended up throwing up all over me, but not all over my hot pink outfit. And so I was like, okay, I'm kind of like listening to my intuition, or even if that's like more of like a Holy Spirit thing, like I'm listening to that little voice that's like, this don't seem like it's gonna make sense, but then in the long run, it ends up making sense. Same thing with what was I talking about before that made me think about that? Um Oh, even like little stuff, like with the whole thing at church, I'm like, dang, I gotta walk in here. Now I did have to like very bravely just walk around church with like my dress being wet up the front, but like I have a toddler. So most people probably looking at me and they're like, oh, mom life. But as I was sitting there, and it was just like, don't hold Justice. Let him stand in front of you. And I'm like, baby ain't tall enough to block this. And then got put him down and let him stand there. I said, he gonna be tall enough to block this. Cause we had to like line up and stuff. The other thing I was gonna what was the other one I was gonna bring up? Oh, the sleeping thing. Y'all know I was staying up super late. I was doing those late night streams and stuff like that, and I wasn't getting no sleep because honestly, when I got energy still and it's 9 o'clock and I get on stream, I'm gonna be on here all night. Because that's kind of how it goes. And I just kept getting that urge, like, you need to get some sleep, you need to get some sleep. And I promise you, ever since I started sleeping, um, getting my consistent sleep every night, it's been back to back, like craziness that's been happening around me, or just like unexpected things happening around me, and I have been able to handle it so much more gracefully, because it's about three things about me. I can't be hungry, I can't be tired, and I can't have to pee. Like, my if my bladder is full, especially after I had a baby, like if my bladder is full, I'm gonna have an attitude. And sometimes you don't even know why you got an attitude. You got this irritation on you, and you're like, "Why am I irritated?" And really, you gotta pee, but you trying to hold it in the background, but it's just in the back of your mind. So those are the three things for me. I cannot be hungry. I get hangry, and I need to get some sleep. Okay, I need some sleep. So I'm so glad I just kind of went with that and been following that, because I have to say, like, that's one of the main reasons that I haven't been tripping over a bunch of stuff that's going on. That, and also that, like, Christ is my firm foundation. So my mental has been a lot more stable, because I've been so much more focused. But like, I promise you, that sleep part was key, because I was so cranky towards the beginning of the year trying to get used to streaming every day. Sleep makes such a huge difference in your day. It's so crazy, because it's like, why don't we it's weird that we don't like to sleep. And I almost feel like it's a trick of the enemy that, like, we in this grind culture, like, that's not gonna last much longer, because people getting burnt out, and millennials is like, this ain't it. But being we've been in this like grind culture for so long, and all it does is literally wear you out and wear you down. And it's like, you do know that, like, you can also, like, you think, oh, if I work 20 hours a day, then I'm gonna have more. And it's like, no, because 10 of those 20 hours that you worked, you didn't do any type of effective work. And you could have done better with the 10 hours. If you would have converted that 20 to 10 working, 10 sleeping, or if you would have converted that 20 hours of working to 8 hours sleeping, and 12 hours working, or whatever, like, you're so much more effective. And then it was funny, because my business partner, he was like, yeah, man, I've been having to take naps, and I thought it was just me getting old, but I think it's just like, naps are a good thing. Like, and I'm like, why are we so grown? And just like finally having this revelation, even though we have to tell our kids, like, you have to sleep. I think since I had Justice, I've had a little bit more of a different perspective on sleep too. First of all, because when they give you that baby in the hospital, then you're not about to sleep for like 6 months. You're not about to sleep more than like 2 hours. But also, because I understand how important sleep is to a baby's development, like, I'm very I'm very I'm very particular about him getting his sleep and people not disturbing his sleep, because I'm like, that's how he's growing. That's how his brain is forming. Like, but also that's exactly how we work. Just like how people will tell you, like, cramming, like when we was in school, and it was like, you stand up all night and cramming, it's not really that effective, because you don't convert um you don't convert your short-term memory into long-term memory if you don't sleep. That's a part of the sleeping process. So if you're not sleeping, you learning stuff temporarily, and you're gonna have to relearn. Like, it's like counterproductive. But so it's just so funny. It's just so funny, because I feel like I be talking about sleep all the time, and I'm like, because I was that person that I pull all nighters, like, all in my 20s. I pull all nighters. all in high school. Out in high school, I was we had like social media started when I was in high school. Um, we had like Crush Spot. We had Facebook when like I had my Facebook. I've had it since when they first started letting high school students have Facebook, and when you still had to get invited to Facebook. I Yeah, I used to be up on the internet all night. Duh, of course. What are you talking about? Come home, get on the internet, and we didn't have phone. Like we had house phones, and we didn't really have cell phones like that. Only people who had cell phones, their parents was balling. And then maybe by the time I turned 16, there was like Metro PCS and stuff like that, and I had a job, so like that's when I got a cell phone. Um, but still, we had minutes, right? And you couldn't even use your free minutes until like 9 o'clock at night. Um, so yeah, we just stayed up all night in chat rooms on the internet. It's crazy. It's crazy. Now I'll be like, I'm about to go to bed. I'm about to get a nap in. It doesn't bother me as much that I have to be up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning because I went to bed. I go to bed at night. Crush Spot was legit wild. I remember one time I got somebody made like they tried to make like a post like roasting me on Crush Spot, which was so random. Like people would just find a person's random picture and just be talking shit about them. It was just so weird. That was a weird one. I liked Crush Spot a lot, but I just remember that happening in particular. I'm pretty sure it was Crush Spot, or it could have been tagged. I don't remember. We had Crush Spot and we had tagged, but it was a cute picture. Like it was a picture of me with my I had my it wasn't apple bottom. It was like a J Lo. I think I had like a J Lo coat. Who had coats back then? Back in like it would have been like 05, 06. I had an all pink coat. It could have been apple. It could have been an apple bottom coat. But it was like an all pink coat with the fur around the hood. I was looking extra cute. And then they was trying to talk about my eyebrows, like, oh, she got some thick eyebrows. And I was like, and then people was like, why are you like she cute? What you talking about? Like, why? Like, what is wrong with people? And now that I think about that, that must have been somebody I knew. Oh, Baby Fat. It was probably Baby Fat. It was probably Baby Fat. It was most definitely Baby Fat, actually. Because I'm thinking that was Kimora Lee. I'm like, Beyonce, Kimora, not J Lo. It was Kimora. Yeah, it was a Baby Fat coat. Absolutely, most definitely. I was 16 with like a pink. It wasn't this color pink. It was like a nice like bubblegum pink. That was my favorite little coat. And then that was back when I didn't believe in like zipping my coat up, because you trying to be cute with your non-existent cleavage. And you just like, why would I zip my coat all the way up? And then I promise you, I was about 16 years old. First of all, I live in Detroit. Like, why you don't want to zip your coat up? It's cold outside. One day I used to be like, I'm always cold. One day I legit zipped my coat all the way up, and it was like a revelation. Like, oh, coats, coats really do work when your whole frontal is not out. Got you. Back in the day, we used to be on Black Planet. We didn't have no business being on Black Planet at all. Like at all. I also used to be that person that thought it was cute to not wear my glasses and squint all the time. And then I found out how ugly you look when you squint. I'm like, you trying to be cute, but you are not cute doing this. You doing this all the time. Like that's not working for you. But you don't know because you don't see yourself. And you giving yourself premature wrinkles for no reason at all. That was me too. Look, you think you're being counterproductive to your own goals in life. Like that is insane. But it's just so funny to me. It'll always be funny to me that I legitimately didn't think coats worked like that until I started zipping my coat up to my neck. Like zip that mug all the way up. So now when I be seeing kids out, like I be seeing like the young, like the youngsters now nowadays, they be doing stuff like it's cold outside, but you don't got your dang, I don't got a hoodie. You don't got your hoodie on. You got the arms through the hoodie, and then the hoodie just covering this part instead of putting your head in. And now you people asking, can you see? Not really. Not really. I cannot see at all, actually. It just be so funny. It just be so funny. So see, we had some good times. Like being, I feel like I was a '90s baby. I was literally born in '90s, so I'm like the epitome of '90s baby. And I just feel like we had it good. We had good eras. Even now, I'm like I enjoy seeing millennials age because we the generation that's just kind of like this don't make sense. Like I'm not gonna keep doing this for the long term because this don't make sense. This just really don't make that much sense. So I'm gonna try something different. There's some cold winters, like it's just that will always be the funniest thing to me. We had a lot of fun. We are funny, yes. We be dead serious though, but we be funny at the same time. Um I feel like we had a good mixture of the transition. Like we knew what it was like to have a childhood where you literally went outside and played. Okay, so we went to Eastern Market today, right? Because I was talking about my plants. We went to Eastern Market today. So in Detroit, Eastern Market is like a big farmers market. It's literally a bunch of sheds, like a bunch of giant sheds, and on the weekends during the warm months because we don't go outside in the winter, but in the warm months on the weekends they have different farmers, literally different local farmers come and sell their products, right? So it's like a huge, there's other farmers markets, but that's like our huge farmers market. Today was flower day. So normally farmers market is like I can go buy tomatoes, cucumbers. I can buy some flowers, but it would be more like flowers. Like I used to go to get flowers at Eastern Market. That's like, oh, I want to put some flowers on my table. Um, but it would be more so going to get fresh fruits and vegetables, and maybe like the butchers would come who have like meat markets and stuff like that. They'll come with their fresh meat and stuff like that, get like some fresh cut bacon, that kind of thing. um we was out in the sun. It was damn near 90 degrees today. It was like 87, I want to say, and it probably felt like 90, and it was like pure sun most of the time. And it my friend, her daughter is 8, right? These kids nowadays don't know nothing about being outside. Oh my god. The whole time we wasn't even outside that long. We just walking over to Eastern Market, like not even a mile walk. We not even a mile, like a quarter of a mile maybe, to walk over because we didn't want to drive. It wasn't gonna be nowhere to park. So we going over there. She just complaining the whole time. She's like, I'm hot. Oh, how long we gonna be here? And that's why I said I got a whole tan, bro. Like, can you see the difference in my skin tone? I got a full tan from being outside. And she was just losing it. And I'm like, girl, if my old butt can be out here walking around in the sun, ain't nothing wrong with you. And then they said the kids nowadays, they eyes not developing because they don't get no sunlight. They don't go outside and they just look at screens all the time. Like these kids, but when we was growing up, we went outside. Like you better go outside too. Everybody upbringing ain't different, but 9 times out of 10, if you from the black community in America, you took your butt outside, play with your friends. Don't be going in and out the door. Like, and we would be outside all day from sun up to sundown. And we lived like that. And now it's like she was about to lose her mind being outside for that long. So we had our era of like low tech fun, being outside, like just getting to know kids in the neighborhood and stuff like that, compared to then once I got in high school, that's when we got the internet, and then our parents did not know what the internet was. That's the only reason that we was on Black Planet and Crushbot and stuff like that when we first got on to the internet. Because my mom, like, I had a computer. I got this computer in high school. My mom didn't know what the heck I was doing. I wasn't doing nothing like overly questionable though. I don't know how the whole what's the era, like, catfishing era started, but we had the catfishing era. But I personally was like, I don't get that, because even though I have met friends off the internet when I was in high school, I only met people in person that knew somebody that I knew. You know what I mean? So it was some people that I met online. Like nowadays we meet people online all the time. It was people that I met online that I met and then went to meet in real life. But that was literally only because we had a mutual connection. So I was able to verify with another person that I knew, that's like, oh yeah, that's my cousin. Like, oh yeah, that is, like, somebody that I like am related to. I didn't understand that catfish thing. But yeah, we had the potential to just be on the internet, to just living our best life. We did get messed up with the whole, like, hey, just go get a college degree and your life's gonna be perfect. That one was a little shaky. I hated going on field trips because all they did was complain. Yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't even like walking. But when I was in college, I walked everywhere. I walked all up and down Midtown, downtown. I walked all over the place. I walked everywhere, literally. And like, I like living in the area that I'm in because it's very walkable, and I don't need to have a car because car insurance is super expensive in Detroit. Like, your car insurance could be like 3-4 times as much as you paying for the car sometimes. Car insurance could easily be $600-$700 a month on top of your car note. So a lot of times, like, the area I live in, people be like, oh, it's a little bit more expensive to live there, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't need but I don't have to have a car note. So I'm used to like walking around and stuff, but like, I did get a little lazy, because I have had vehicles in more recent years and everything like that. So I'm still getting back to being like, oh, let me get up and go outside and walk. And even I was not tripping. So I'm like, if I'm not tripping, girl, you gonna be okay with your little 8-year-old self and your sprightly ankles. Cause by the end of the day, then she wanted to keep doing stuff, and then she was like, I'm like, girl, I need to sit down. My ankles are sore. And I'm like, ain't your ankle sore? No. Exactly. Take your butt outside. But don't we sound like our parents? Take your butt outside. I'm like, girl, if you don't close my door, if I get bit up by mosquitoes tonight, we gonna have a problem. I love kids though. I love her age range too. Like the third graders is the funniest ones. They are the funniest ones. Like, they're still little enough to listen to you, like really, really listen, like really understand, like adult versus kid type of thing. But they old enough that they be thinking they grown, and they be just trying to I used to I was in the I did like this camp, it's engineering camp, a bunch of times with Nesby, and I always work with third graders. It's a third through fifth grade camp, but whenever I was mentoring, I always worked with third grade. And I promise you, it was this girl in one of my classes one year. She was oh, I just had a whole epiphany. I just had a whole epiphany. I was about to say it was a girl who tried to. She was trying to. It was a third grader trying to hook me up with one of the other teachers. She was trying to hook me up with one of the other mentors. I'm like, girl, you are a child. Like, why are you doing this? And all the kids, we had third through fifth grade. It's like a summer camp. We have them for like a month. Well, we had them for 3 weeks, I think. But this one, she was a busybody, and I was a busybody, so I understand. So she was getting on like the other mentors' nerves because she just always had something going on. But so I used to keep her with me. That was my little homie. But still, like she was trying to be grown, so she noticed though, like those kids, like when they in like third grade, that's when they start to notice like social cues. So she noticed this. I didn't notice this, but apparently she noticed that this other mentor's always like looking at me or whatever, and she's like, I think he likes you. And then next thing I know, like, when we take all the kids outside, she's like going over to talk to him and getting all his information and finding out like his background and all this stuff. And then she just start coming back and telling me, like reporting it to me. And I'm just like, why are you like, stay out of grown folks' business? Like, what is wrong? What's wrong with you? And it's so funny because earlier today I seen the guy who she was like the other mentor. I literally just seen him today. I'm just looking like, I know you from somewhere. And he spoke, and like I spoke to him, but I'm just looking at him like, where do I know him from? Because me, y'all, I've been in the Detroit Tech, like community for so long, and I've been teaching too. So a lot of times I'll see people, I don't know if I know you from teaching. I don't know if I know you from like different meetup groups. I don't know if I know you from me taking a class. Well, usually I know who I took classes from, but like a lot of times I start to mix people up. So I'm looking, I'm like, this guy looks so familiar, and I know he, like, obviously I know him, but I couldn't place anything like recent, and that's so funny because like I just had a whole epiphany, like, oh, that was the guy who was a mentor. And this little third grader was trying to hook us up. And the crazy thing is that little girl probably in high school by now. But she might be older than that. But yeah, I love the little kids. They are so funny. You just need more energy with them. If you don't got patience, it ain't gonna work. I had this one boy, he wanted to be in football camp. He was supposed to be at football camp. So he used to just be like, his energy levels was through the roof. But he had a good time with us. But, I was able to have the patience to like, sit with him and help keep him occupied in the times where it was like, okay, it's a little bit of a slow moment. Though, but that third grade is my favorite. Those kids is crazy. Middle school kids be thinking they grown. Sixth graders are the worst. Oh, well, not all sixth graders. Sixth graders that like schools that have sixth grade in the elementary school, the sixth graders is the worst. They think they so grown. You not. You about to be back at the bottom of the totem pole. You in elementary school still, but you think you like, you think you so grown, and then you go to middle school and you just not. Eighth graders, I have a bias towards eighth grade because I feel like when I was in eighth grade, we thought we was running the school, like, because you the top of the middle school food chain, but we was enjoying ourselves as eighth graders. But like me working with eighth graders, I don't know. Sixth graders are the worst though, because you still a little kid and you think you grown and you not, and then you about to get a rude awakening next year. When when you go to middle school and they like, oh, it's the little ones. How we even start talking about that, I don't know. But that was just so funny. Now I gotta call my friend and tell her, like, I had the epiphany. I had the epiphany. I hate when I see people and I know them and I recognize them, but then it's like, dang, I recognize you, but I don't know where I know you from. And then you don't want it to be awkward. That's always bad. Why are y'all sitting here listening to me in the first place? First of all, I'm gonna sit here talk about randomness for like an hour. But yeah, I'm just going to be working on some stuff this week. Picture, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for the Twitch. My memory is bad. I'm bad at names. I'm so bad at names. Now, this how you know I'm like a techie person. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'm just saying that and nobody else has that problem. But I feel like if you if you told me some random fact about an AI company, I'm gonna remember that. If you told me some random math theorem, I'm probably gonna remember that. I can remember all the math theorems I ever learned if I got enough of a reminder. But if I see somebody, I'm not gonna know their name. And then you will ask somebody their name, and it's gonna immediately dissolve straight out of my brain. Like it's gonna go in one ear, and then it's gonna just ooze out the other ear. Like it does not like people's names don't stick with me. So, but the thing is, I'm like, I know that about myself, but in the moment, I just be so caught up in like if somebody introduce themselves, right? I get so caught up in like having a genuine conversation with them, and then I walk away and I'll be like, oh, I forgot their name. I forgot the name that fast. How did it happen? So I can't say I got a bad memory. I only have a bad memory when it comes to certain elements. I'm getting cooked in Elden Ring. Look, I need to play some games. That's what I need to do. Be like Miss Signer and just max out the freaking grocery store or something. I wanted to chill and like, maybe game for the whole birthday thing, but that wasn't about to work out. So do y'all know this though? This looking cute, right? I got my blonde all the way platinum. Not like my roots need a little love. So I'm gonna go back through one more time and do my roots, but my hair before was like it wasn't like a 27, but it was like a light blonde. But this is like a icy. This the icy blonde, and I think it looked real cute. I was supposed to braid my hair though, so I'm working on it. I can't believe y'all sitting here listening to me talk about this. That's so funny to me. I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I just streaming is so interesting to me because I'd be like, what do people actually even care about? Like, do you really want to sit here and listen to somebody talk? I know, like, as much as even with Twitch, a lot of times people think about Twitch, they think about gaming, but Twitch didn't start out as gaming. Twitch started out as Justin TV, which was basically just chatting. And like just chatting is such a popular category. But sometimes I'd be like, is it really popular or is it because like, people be doing a lot of stuff that is not just chatting. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I got the icy blonde, and I've been getting a lot of compliments on it. So I'm like, okay, 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 okay. The conversations can be good. That is true. That is very true. But it's one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, so say like me, um, I have to come in and just be talking to myself for like a good 20 minutes. I gotta be sitting here like having a full blown conversation with myself for a good 20 minutes. And then other people start to chime in. And then it's like, okay. Then, yeah, it's like a chicken and an egg situation. I'm excited. We've been doing good with the streams, but I do want to take those streams to the next level, but I need to get my life together too. I've been using what is this? StreamYard. I've been using StreamYard. I like StreamYard. It's not my go-to. I definitely absolutely positively have to get my OBS set up. I'm really in this mood of not paying for subscriptions. Something about finding out that you don't really need to pay for subscriptions is just it gives you that urge, which is why I'm deploying my site. Like that's why I'm deploying my site myself to DigitalOcean because like I still have to pay for my hosting on DigitalOcean, but like $5 a month versus $40. Excuse me, $5 a month versus $40 a month is different. Um, and then when you like, oh, I got my hosting service, and then I got this specific website type of platform. Then I got some other hosting. Then I got Adobe Creative Cloud or something. Then I got Canva. Then like it just starts to add up. And with multi streaming, I've been multi streaming with Streamlabs OBS because if I just pay for my subscription, then basically it's just easy and I could just pick which accounts I want to go live to works. But I don't want to keep paying them. It's only $20 a month, but still, like by the time you like 20 plus 20 plus 50 plus 40, and you just be like, dang, I could have did something with that. Even if I just invested in it elsewhere in my business, even if I just got a new camera. Cause like right now, I just been using, like, this is just my FaceTime camera. And y'all know, as much as I love a Mac, they don't be giving us the best cameras on these computers. Adobe CC is super expensive. Um, I can kind of sort of help you out, Miss Siner, when it comes to OBS. I'm not like a audio or video expert in any way, shape, or form, but I learned some stuff over the years. I like Streamlabs OBS because it helps as a gateway. Like it really helps me. It helps me get the hang of the elements of the streaming software that I needed to learn, and then um just get more comfortable, learn how to make my scenes, make my layouts and all that kind of stuff. But now it's like, no. I think if I can multi-stream from OBS, I mean yeah, from OBS without like taking a hit to my computer performance, then it's a no-brainer. Because there is a plugin that would allow me to multi-stream to OBS. Like I'm very aware of that. It's just I have to set up OBS from like the ground up. And even though that is daunting, like I said, because I did like Streamlabs OBS for so many years, I know how to set up my stream in OBS. It's just having to do everything from the ground up. It's kind of annoying. But Streamlabs OBS made it very easy for me because they literally deleted like my whole profile that had it's not deleted because like I didn't delete any files, but like my whole profile on Streamlabs OBS that had all of my scenes, like my scene collection, completely disappeared after the last update. That's why I've been using StreamYard because I'm like, I'm not about to pay y'all. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not about to pay y'all again because y'all just no. So for right now, like, and again, we also have StreamYard. We have StreamYard for Detroit Black Tech. So all of the podcasts and everything, whenever we do the podcast live, we use StreamYard. So it really just depends, but OBS is definitely something that when you first open it, that you open it that first time, you're like, what is this? What am I looking at? Why? Yeah, you can hit me up. I can even show you like kind of how some of my stuff is set up too. Those are the types of things that I feel like personally that I need to make more content around. Like because that like for me when I'm telling people like, oh hey, okay, hey, like there's different approaches you can take to growing your career, growing your expertise or establishing your expertise and your credibility. um Everybody does it differently, right? Some people just do it through technical work and some people do it through open source and all that. But for me, I established a lot of my credibility through teaching and through like getting into content creation and stuff like that. So um I I'm like, I can't just like kind of say like, hey, these are the things that you could do. It's best if I also show y'all how it works too. Um So I wanted to do more stuff like that. I just feel like maybe back in the day, I never wanted to do like, I'm not trying to teach you how to be a live streamer per se in that regard. It's not, because like live streaming is like such a mass audience, but it's more so like geared towards like technical people. Like how do we use live streaming and these different platforms and tools? Because we do have some unique needs as well. But yeah, so learning how to live stream, I learned how to live stream back in 2018, 2019, 2018, I think. 2018, I think. Um, I still want to be a YouTuber. All my life I want to be. All my life I want to be a YouTuber. All my life. But yeah, I want to talk more about teaching, getting into teaching, because like teaching is also not for everybody, but like Miss Seiner, like you have a background in teaching, so that's like everybody's not an educator. Let me just say that. And a lot of technical people, I love y'all, but y'all don't be knowing how to explain this stuff to people. So it's like you can be the smartest person when it comes to like a tech subject, but if you don't know how to explain it to a person who has no technical background, mm-mm, mm-mm, it's not working. So that was another thing for me. I was used to, before I got into tech, I was used to, like I was saying, I did those summer camps and stuff like that for kids. Like I was used to teaching kids and doing like STEM programs for kids before I started teaching adults how to code. So if you can break down an engineering concept to a third grader, you can break down programming fundamentals to, you know, an adult that's like a career changer. Um, and that's what made me really successful. Even though when I first got into teaching in tech, I was still new to tech. Um, I actually even feel like when I was newer to tech, I was a better teacher to beginners because it was like, this is still within, I still know, like I still have the memories of exactly what those first moments was like, you know what I mean, of trying to figure it out. Now that feeling, that confusion that I had in the beginning is so far removed that sometimes I even feel that I'm like I'm drifting. Or I have to be very intentional to be able to explain things in layman's terms and not getting too down in the weeds. Excuse me, but yeah, I was always teaching back then. And that's how and I was a meetup organizer too. So I came up like tech wise, I came up in the era of meetup, like the peak of meetup, I would say. Um, because I'm not sure that meetup ever, in the tech scene at least, I'm not sure that meetup ever has reached like the pre-pandemic heights. But I came up in the peak of the meetup era. So even before I first started becoming like an instructor, before I first really became a meetup organizer, I I worked at a coding boot camp, um and I was the person who typically was the contact, the point of contact for meetups when we hosted them in our space. Because basically any tech meetup, if they wanted to come meet in our space, like it was a win-win situation. So we will always host a lot of different tech meetups. So I was like basically the face of the I was the face of the organization, as far as like when people came to go to tech meetups and stuff like that, I would always be the one working with the organizer, helping them get their stuff together, helping them, you know, plan out their event. And then I would be the one supporting the event during you know, kickoff. I would be the one that's welcoming everybody into the space before the event starts and stuff like that. So, you know, that wasn't something I was doing intentionally. I'm just very much that type of person where, one, that at that time that was a part of my job. Um but also I've always been like involved in leadership and stuff like that. So even like when I was in college, I was like a president of the Black Student Union. I was in my sorority. I had like leadership roles in my sorority. Um, I was in NSBE. I went from being a chapter senator in NSBE to being a regional vice chair to being a national publications chair. I was a Sikh camp site director for our first all girls camp. Um I Later on, around 2018, 2019, I was also convention planning vice chair for our convention in that we hosted in Detroit. You know, so I've always sought out like those types of roles, just in general. So of course, once I got into tech and then I started to, you know, get comfortable with the meetup scene and stuff like that, I got comfortable with girl development and became a part of that community. And I became a chapter leader. Eventually, I became a chapter leader. I started out as a TA, taking classes, or TAing, volunteering as a TA, and then in return, basically, when you volunteered as a TA, you could be a you could take classes for free. So that was one of the things I started out doing. And then once I started to get opportunities to teach, people saw like, oh, you kind of good at that part. Like you really good. You're really good at teaching some beginner JavaScript, like beginner concepts and stuff like that. I was really successful with that, and helping people with that process. And that really like that. None of that was intentional, right? I wasn't like going into this being like, this is how I'm going to grow my career. That was just naturally a part of my process because of just kind of how I am. But that ended up making a big difference in the long run, like a huge difference in the long run. Um, and so now when I look back on it, then that's why I can speak to like the importance of, again, because everybody has different routes to take. But if you are the type of person that you can get into teaching, or a lot of times nowadays people do like, live streaming or making videos. I just don't like editing. I hate editing so much. Like I don't want to edit. That's my biggest downfall. Like that's my toxic trait. I'm like a content creator, but I hate editing so much. And I can't just pay people to edit. So that's just a struggle right now. That's why I like the AI tools. But live streaming is so natural to me because it's just like teaching to me. If I was comparing it to like video production, for example, because with live streaming is just it's just raw in the moment. So you can have a plan that you're going on, but you're not necessarily going to sit here and read the script. And then you don't have to, you should, come back and do certain things with your content. Not to say that you shouldn't, but for me, like with live streaming, it's like once the stream is over, the stream is over. I delivered on that content. Just like if I'm teaching, once my class is over, I've delivered on that content. I'm not then responsible to come back and like do a bunch of extra work. In that case, like most of my work is done on the front end, just like preparing for it. So that's why live streaming is more natural to me, and I enjoy it a lot more. But I did have to get used to, over the years. I had to get used to, well, over time, I would say I got used to talking to myself. Because when you first start out, you like basically talking to yourself. Or like me, I've taken so many like hiatuses, so you kind of start over trying to like build your viewership up and stuff like that. Um, and so yeah, a lot of times, like I said, even with this, it's like I have to be already having an interesting conversation for people to come in and have a conversation with me. But in the beginning, I'm the only one in the stream, so I'm just talking to myself. But I got so used to that now. It's not a big deal to me. I think it was Fizzy who asked me one time when I start my stream and I'm already like kind of talk about what I'm going to do today and everything. Like, if y'all notice, even though I feel like I'm still a little awkward with it, I try to start my stream immediately. Like, once I start my stream, unless I'm feeling some type of way or I'm tired, once I start my stream, I go straight into, this is the day of the challenge. Like, this is what I'm planning on doing. Like, I start, you know what I mean? Um, and there's nobody there. It's just me. Nowadays, y'all be pulling up on me kind of soon, but most of the time, especially earlier in the year, it's like it's nobody here but me. But I have to go in like and start my stream as if there's other, that there are people listening, because people are gonna come and go at their own time, at their own pace. So the funny thing about that is live streaming actually prepared me for teaching through the pandemic and like subsequent subsequent years, because um I was used to teaching in class, like being able to see people, being able to see when you like look confused, or being able to see when you're like go like when somebody's eyes start to glaze over. being able to tell, you could kind of tell, like you can gauge, how your students are doing. You could see if somebody been staring at something for a long time and they probably got a bug. Excuse me. They probably got a bug, but they don't want to say nothing. Excuse me. But yeah, they probably got a bug and they don't want to say nothing, or they probably they probably just might be confused and literally don't know what to do next. Like I could see if they just sitting there like looking around trying to figure some stuff out. I could walk around the classroom and actually see people's computers and what's on their screens and stuff like that to see how far along they are. Once we started doing everything, like all classes basically went to Zoom, a lot of people had a hard time with that. I'm not gonna say I didn't, because it was hard to get into teaching in a space where you go from literally having that real time feedback and seeing exactly what's going on, and then being able to respond accordingly, to like you just literally you just talking to a silent webinar. Excuse me, you just talking to a silent webinar. You got all these people in here and they probably making dinner, changing the diaper, watching the anime. Like ain't no telling what they doing, but most of the time they are not paying attention. And if they are paying attention, they might have got lost trying to follow you. They might have got lost in the demo 5-10 minutes ago. They ran into a bug that they can't fix, so they off doing that. And it's so hard. It was so hard because it's like you don't know, and then you be trying to get feedback, but you almost have to force feedback in those regards. People don't turn their cameras on, so you can't see them. And it was the awkwardness of like teaching, talking into into dead air. That didn't bother me because I'm used to live streaming, and when you live stream, even if somebody is like chatting with you or whatever, when you live stream, like you just talking to yourself. I gotta like look at the camera, like to make eye contact with you. Like I'm so used to knowing that I have to make eye contact with the camera, that if I change my camera, um I'll be looking at the wrong lens. Thinking I'm all on point. It was a point where I was teaching last year. This happened to me a lot. I got used to looking at a certain camera because I have my camera on my computer, right? But then I usually have a camera mounted up top. So I got used to the camera that's up top, and I'm like looking at that camera the whole time, and then forgetting that, oh, that's not the camera that's active. So it's just like me looking like this. Oh, wait. Excuse me. I'm looking over here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm having a conversation with you. But really, the whole time, you didn't notice because I just kind of look like I'm staring off into space because I'm not looking at the camera that's actually active. So that's just funny. I'm over here yawning, so I need to go to bed. See, an hour and a half. It's already been an hour and a half. I'm about to go to bed for real. Um, I might be streaming off site throughout the week. We'll see. Um, if so, I'll just be like at the coffee shop. I don't know. I might go to a co-working space because the Wi-Fi is going to be better, probably more stable. I don't know. But honestly, I be getting away with being on Wi-Fi. Like today, I don't know. My stream is kind of laggy today. I don't know why. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming offsite this week, just going around to different co-working spaces and figuring that out. Or I might even try streaming from the coffee shop. We'll see. Ain't nothing more crazy than the many times I streamed from my phone. I streamed from a couch. I streamed from my porch. So it's not that big of a deal. So this week I will be working on my AI tutor agent. That's for backdrop build. I have to get my MVP done this week because technically I think our build launch day is next week on Wednesday. So I will be working on my AI tutor. I will be Google, Google startup, Google startup school. The Gen AI Google Startup School starts on Tuesday, y'all. It starts on Tuesday. Y'all know I've been a Google like fangirl lately. When it comes to like the tech stack and their GCP improvement. So that starts on Tuesday. No, yeah, it starts on Tuesday because that's the 22nd. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a lot of stuff going on, but I will see y'all tomorrow. So it's no reason to sit here and act like this is the last time. God willing. Because I don't know what the future holds. But if I'm here tomorrow, then I'll be here tomorrow. Miss Sider, I appreciate you. Have a good night. I'll see y'all. I'm gonna post my plants in Discord. I'm probably gonna make a plant channel. I just be making channels because I feel like certain topics need to be like separated. But yeah, so I'm gonna post my plants in the Discord and then y'all gonna see like I'm gonna start working on. I'm now that I have like a whole bunch of plants, like house plants that I have to take care of. I'm definitely going to put up my shelf so that they can have somewhere to live. So, play a channel, heck yeah, good, good grief. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. I hope y'all have a good night. Have a good Monday, y'all. Have a good start to your week. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Get some sleep. Oh, and I got my little espresso maker so I could be making my espresso shandies. Um, yeah. All right, I'm done talking. Yeah. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.